Yes, everybody, what's going on? Stephen Howson back outside Old Trafford for your weekly dose of We're Not Signing Anybody. It's a transfer review! Right, let's get fired straight into this then, shall we? First up, first come, first served, Andrea Belotti, 27 years old, Torino captain, striker, 12 goals and 6 assists this season in Serie A. Plenty of interest coming from all over the Premier League. He's got United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, all monitoring him. I'm almost certain that we was heavily linked to this guy just a couple of years ago. Am I? Do you remember that? I think I remember that. So he's got an £85 million exit clause, and apparently that only applies to foreign clubs. I don't see us spending £85 million on this guy, if I'm being completely honest with you. Torino's technical director has come out and said, I hope that our captain will remain all his life, and I say that with my heart. Now that's a hell of a line to then sell the guy, isn't it? Now that is also negotiations 101, play with the emotions. You know, when United tried to sign Wayne Rooney, Bill Kenwright got his wife on the phone to be like, they're taking our boy. Yeah, we took him and he banged all the goals in. It was mint. Contract expires in 2022 and Torino are believed to be preparing an offer that significantly improves those terms. This might be new contract negotiation tactics from Torino, but the fact that the guy is the kind of striker, like that sort of target man, good in the air, that I think United two need, and 3 seemingly are interested in, makes me go, I think there's something more than nothing in this. It's been reported in Tutto Sport, which does know what it's talking about when it comes to Italian football, but it's also in ESPN and the Daily Express, which might as well just be written in shit on a wall somewhere. So, 1 out of 10. Next up then, Raphael Varane. The sources for this one is a fella called Jose Alvarez, a geezer on Twitter. Really? Right, alright. El Tringuino TV, no idea either, and The Express. 27 years old, French, Real Madrid, centre-half. This season, they're still in the La Liga title race, the third. It's going all right for them. We was having a discussion in the office this week. Did Varane reach his potential? Is he world-class? I think he probably is, and I think he probably did. It's like one of those, isn't it, where people go, oh, Wayne Rooney never reached his potential. Did he not? What the fuck was his potential then? Because he was world class and he was a shade under being the best player in the world at several points of his career. What do you mean he didn't reach his potential? Varane's kind of in that same boat where people think that, what was he going to be, Beckenbauer reignited? Like, he's quality. The fact that he's quality and he's in his peak at the moment makes me think that United aren't getting him. But if there has been a fallout, which is what there seems to have been, then I don't understand. Why can't we go for him? I think we can go for him. I think we could get him. Here's what's being said. Contract expires in 2022 and Madrid are assuming that he won't renew his contract. So I guess they're trying to give him a new contract, but he ain't interested in signing it. Can't make my mind up on this one. I want to stand here and go, bullshit. I'm hearing there might be something in it. When I say something in it, that United's interest is real. But the thing is, United have had interest, though we had real interest in Erling Haaland, plays for Dortmund. You know, we've had real interest in players before and they've not signed. So the interest might be like, oh yeah, he's class. Won't come here though. I think there's real interest and I do think that United are going to attempt something with Varane. If the money's right, I think that it would make a lot of sense for us. Even if our interest is real, which is what I'm hearing, I just don't believe in us to get this deal done. And I'll be delightedly shocked if we do. So Varane, I'm going to have to give him a 3 out of 10. Can't say it's bullshit, because I'm hearing it's not bullshit. One, I don't know if we're getting played, because I think this happened with Ramos. Was our interest in Ramos a couple of years ago real? You're absolutely right, it was. Was his interest in coming to United ever real? Probably not. So it could be the same sort of crack with Varane. Everybody knows, link to United, get yourself a sexy new fat contract. It's a rinse and repeat cycle that we've seen a million times. So even though Varane excites me, and I know that we're in for him, or we're interested in him at least, in for him's a little bit more of a step up in it, I just don't believe in this board to get that deal done. Like I said, 3 out of 10. Next up then we got Joachim Andersen, currently on loan from Lyon at Fulham, centre-half. There is no option for them to turn it into a permanent deal, into the contract at least, although they could do that, I guess. The consensus yesterday in the office was pretty good, him. I would tend to agree. I do think he is pretty good. He's not been great at Fulham because Fulham haven't been great. And here's the problem. Sometimes as a goalkeeper or a defender in a team that's looking like they could get relegated, you have a lot of trade. It's very easy to stand out in those teams. It's harder to look like a good midfielder or a good playmaker or a good striker in those teams. I think it's very easy for those that are getting a lot of trade. It's like sometimes like being a striker. Like let's take Raheem Sterling for example. Raheem Sterling is not an elite striker. His finishing's actually shite. But because he plays in a team that creates a bucket load of chances every single game, he scores ridiculous sorts of numbers. Now, if you put him in the Fulham team or somewhere like that, he wouldn't. So I think sometimes when you're a defender, you can kind of benefit from those sorts of things. But supposedly the Premier League elite are in for him. Now this has come from bt.dk, which is a Danish publication. It's also in the Telegraph. So this is looking like more than shit scrawled on walls, but it is also in the Mail Online. And they're saying that they're obviously in a relegation battle, but he has established himself at the heart of defence and attracted interest from some of the Premier League's elite teams. And it says United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Leicester and Crystal Palace. What a weird combination of clubs to be linked with. Lyon are expected to agree a fee for him to move permanently forward for £25 million. Now, that, in this current market, is a belting price. Here's the thing I don't know, and I'm going to have to watch a hell of a lot more of him to get this opinion. I don't know if he's better than Lindelof. I don't know if he suits United more than what we've got. Certainly when you go Varane, yes, he does, yes. Andersen, he's good, but is he that good? That's what I'm saying about when you look at a player that's at a team like Fulham where he's getting a lot of trade, you can look sensational. Can you do it for Manchester United? Because we know that step up is different. Either way, we will see. He is going to play in the Euros over the summer. Again, I don't think this is a 0. I think this makes a hell of a lot of sense. Let's give it a 2 out of 10. Alrighty then, last up on the ins, Declan Rice. Where they've come from, like ESPN are reckoning 70 million. The number that's getting bandied around, and it might be because I think David Moyes might have just flung a number out there when he said 100 million. But David Moyes asking for 100 million is both mental and not mental at the same time. It's mental that Declan Rice is worth 100 million. I said this the other day. 100 million pound players should be match winners. You know, your Haaland is a £100 million player. Your Harry Kane's are a £100 million player. Declan Rice, that's a £50-60 million player. Is he good? Yeah, he's good. He's not fucking £100 million though, is he? That's English tax and all sorts of stuff getting flung in the mix there. ESPN are saying that they're asking for 70. That makes a little bit more sense, I think. He is contracted for another 3 years, 2024. And this is in the formerly great local newspaper, now disreputable blog. It's in a couple of other blogs. The Mirror, it's also in the Athletic, ESPN and the Metro. I think the blogs have more credibility than the Metro. And they're saying that he is interested in joining United over the course of the summer. He's been asking questions about the club while he was on international duty and stuff like that. Speaking directly to Shaw and to Maguire and asking things about him. Moyes obviously did say that not only did he say he was worth 100 million, his actual words were far more than 100 million. And obviously their bargaining position would be strengthened if they managed to get Champions League football this season. But let me tell you this, he ain't the reason they're getting Champions League football. I think we all know who the reason is. I'll tell you something else as well. Someone that's played with him, that plays for United, maybe someone in the England team, reckons that Scott McTominay's better than him. Again, is Rice benefiting from being, like Jesse Lingard, in a team where you just get a little bit more freedom of expression, where the pressure isn't quite as much? Personally, I don't really agree with that. I think that Rice is better than McTominay. Certainly in possession, I think he's better than him. And I think he would be at least a slight upgrade on McTominay defensively. I think Declan Rice is a good player. I certainly don't agree with McTominay being better than him, but not £100 million. As I said last week, there's a few players that I think United will go for this year and try and go for. And that last week, as I said, was Calvert-Lewin, Sancho and Rice. So I can't sit here and say it's bullshit. I don't think it is bullshit. I think we will inquire about him and maybe the former Jesse Lingard. is doing something about that, and we'll talk about Jesse in a minute when we talk about the outs. I think you've got to give it a 4 out of 10 for Declan Rice and United. And that was the ins. This is the outs. Jesse Lingard. Oh my God. Jesse Lingard has, check this out, the one criticism I think you could comfortably and fairly level at Jesse Lingard at Manchester United was end product wasn't great. He's gone to West Ham and he's literally scored more goals than any other player in the Premier League in the time that he's been at West Ham. What the fuck happened there? He's absolutely rarsing it up. 9 appearances, 8 goals and 3 assists. Honestly, better than Bruno numbers. That feels weird saying. Better than Bruno numbers, albeit in a quarter of the season. Either way, ridiculous. Who's he attracting interest from, Steve? Is it West Ham? Yeah, it is West Ham. But according to ESPN and the Evening News, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, what? And West Ham. Okay. Oh, and Inter Milan, obviously. I mean, the Inter Milan one might just be a case of looking at their squad list and going, of course they want Jesse Lingard. Okay, look at the squad. Paris Saint-Germain, what the fuck? Real Madrid, what the fuck? What's mad is everyone thought that there was someone from that class of 2011 FA Youth Cup winning side likely to be going to Madrid this summer. No one thought it was Jesse Lingard. You would think Ryan Tunnicliffe's got as much chance of going to Real Madrid as fucking Jesse Lingard does. But that's what it says right there. Real Madrid. Jesus Christ. I think if West Ham get Champions League football, they will be in the mix, although I'm not 100% sure that he would like to permanently move to West Ham. Mate, can you imagine? Can you imagine Jesse ends up at Paris or Real Madrid? Inter Milan, yeah, I can definitely see that. The other two feel madness, don't they? Absolutely madness. But credit to Jesse, he's gone out there and he's proving what he's all about. I don't think he would necessarily replicate that form if he came back and tried to do it in a United shirt. It's just different at different clubs, and the machinations of the players around you, they sort of help. And I think he wants game time. He deserves game time, and he would not get in ahead of Bruno. He would literally be, Bruno's having a night off, in you go Jesse, in the cup against Burton at home. So I can understand why he would want to go. I think he should go. I can't believe Real Madrid are in for him. How the hell do I rate this? Like, look, I think he's going to go. Here's the madness, right? Declan Rice, supposedly worth more than 100 million. The reason West Ham are talking about Champions League football is Jesse Lingard. And apparently he's worth 20 million. How is he worth 20 million? If this had been a German kid or a French kid that West Ham had just got on loan and he'd done them sort of Bruno numbers, you'd be talking 2 or 3 times that. You wouldn't get him for less than 50. You would not even contemplate getting him for less than 40. 20 million's madness. However, I think there'll be a lot of swapsies done this year. And if United's interest in Raphael Varane is real, and this is a big if that interest from Real Madrid is real, then maybe there's a deal to be done. Are you talking about a straight swap for Raphael Varane and Jesse Lingard? Hey, I didn't fucking come up with it. Probably not. Probably more like a little bit of cash coming our way and then they can have Jesse Lingard. I'm joking, sort of. Jesse Lingard to leave United this summer though, 7 out of 10. I think United will find somewhere for him. I think his form has earned him interest from somewhere across Europe. If he finishes the remaining, what have we got, like 5 games or something, if he finishes them the way he's done with the previous 8, he'll absolutely have people queuing up to come and sign him. David De Gea. So this is in the Mail Online, Give Me Sport and the Daily Star, and it says United are set to make Henderson number 1. Solskjaer did absolutely finesse this. Considering the amount of fuss that could have been caused about everything that happened, the timing, the way it went was almost flawless. Brilliant from Solskjaer. He's got 2 years left on his contract, meaning that United might demand a large sum. Now 30 years old, it's his 10th season at Old Trafford. He's on 350 grand a week. And United are willing to pay off the rest of his wages to get rid of him. That would cost us 36 million. Oh. Henderson signed a 6-year deal worth a third of what De Gea's on back in August. And it could be part of a goalkeeper exodus, which includes Grant, Pereira and Romero all going this summer. That Nathan Bishop must be sitting there like, am I number 2 now? Fucking happened there. Anyway, do I think De Gea's going? Yeah, feels like it, doesn't it? I think the only thing that will slow De Gea going is his wages. Who's willing to pay those wages, and will United pay him off? Will he go on a free somewhere? those are the sorts of things that I think you have to take into account. But I do think that it's more likely than not, and I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Edison Cavani. Romano's reporting this one. It's also in the formerly great local newspaper, now just Reputable Online blog. And they're talking all sorts of macca. Actually, go back. There was an in that we forgot about. You may or may not have seen the full workings out, the cogs, if you like, behind the machinations of the transfer rumour machine this week. I do a podcast with Rio Ferdinand. Don't worry about it. No big deal. It's a good podcast. So check it out on Vibe with 5 o'clock every Monday on Rio's channel. And I had a fairly throwaway comment. People have been talking about Haaland and Kane for fucking weeks now. For me, not realistic options for Manchester United this summer. Both of them are going to cost 100 and fucking what million. I don't even know if we'll spend that in total across the summer. So I had the suggestion of more realistic, not saying better, certainly not saying better than either, but more realistic, more gettable would be Calvert-Lewin. Rio replied going, that's a bit of a left field option. In fact, roll VT. I think Kane would be lethal at City, and I think Haaland would be lethal at United. That's not to say that either would get them. And probably being more realistic, I think Calvert-Lewin would be the one that might actually suit United a little bit better. And I think how good he is in the air and looking at how United are starting to put balls into the box, I'd love to see us bring Calvert-Lewin in over anyone else, really. I think he's probably the more realistic sign if he's available.
That's interesting. Rio, thoughts?
It's one out of left field. I'll have to say that. I think, listen, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, for me, I love him. I've watched a lot of Everton this year, and I think he's a player that uneases defenders. He's not one you'd want to play against him week out. He's aggressive. He attacks the ball well. What I like about him is that speaking to Carlo Ancelotti earlier in the season, he mentioned Inzaghi, and he said he doesn't need many chances, and he scores goals in and around the 6-yard box. And you look at Calvert-Lewin this season, he's listened to that. He's taken it on board. Obviously, seems a real good student of the game, and he started putting that into his own game. And we've seen the rewards he's had. He's got into the England squad. He's scored loads of goals in and around the 6-yard box, scoring them ugly goals. And yeah, I think he would be a fantastic signing for Manchester United. One out of left field a little bit, but I think he'd have a big impact because I think he'll get on the end of a lot of the things that are created through the likes of Fernandes, through the likes of Pogba's, Rashford's, Greenwood, etc. But it's whether Ollie sees that as something that is feasible, but also, am I not going to get the likes of Kane or Haaland? I think if those two players come up, they're going to be first choice as long as the money's not crazy and it's doable.
That's what Rio had to say about it. Wasn't exactly go out there and get him, but look at what some of the newspapers wrote. That's how transfer rumours happen. That's why I stand outside here going, they're all talking shite. Guess why? They're all talking shite. Anyway, back to Cavani. 34 years of age. He was on a 1-year contract. Evening News, Romano, blah, 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 blah. And they're saying, Solskjaer's come out and said, we've had upfront and honest meetings about his future. There's no secret. We want to keep him. Romano says there's still a few weeks until his future is settled. It will be a family decision. What does that tell you then? When his dad's like, get him out of here. We want to go play for Boca. He's on 160 grand a week. That expires in June. 7 goals in 20 appearances in the Premier League. I've liked Cavani being in. And if United don't manage to get someone over the line in the summer, I think we desperately need someone like Cavani to stick around. I don't think he's been a bad influence on the players around him. I'm hearing great things about how he's sort of took Mason Greenwood under his wing. And is it a coincidence in the last few weeks that Mason Greenwood's form's really picked up because someone's actually working with him in training? Probably not. Let's keep Cavani. I really want to see him stick around. And I don't think he needs to be going to the retirement home of South American football just yet. I think he's still got a lot to offer. I mean, he's mint. Scoring goals this week. Keep him. Right, that was the ins. That was the outs. That was a bit of a rant at the absolute bullshit machine of transfer rumours. Subscribe. Kin laters.